Welcome to Space City Home Network's presentation of Houston Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
It is a Tuesday night from downtown St. Louis, Missouri, right by the Gateway Arch, as the Cardinals will host the Houston Astros for the middle game of a three-game series from Busch Stadium. The Cardinals winning last night pretty convincingly 8-3. The Astros getting all their runs on a Jeremy Pena home run in the ninth inning. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Todd Callis alongside Julia Morales. We'll hear from Jeff Blum in our Blummers Breakdown in just a little while. Julia, April 15th, always a special day in Major League Baseball as we honor the legacy of Jackie Robinson.
It's definitely a different day when you roll up into the ballpark. You walk into the clubhouse and 42 is on every single locker. There is all the guys wearing Breaking Barriers t-shirts today. Just a special day, bigger than baseball. Also cool for some rookies who are getting to experience this for the very first time.
Yeah, and for the Astros on the mound today is Hunter Brown. That's usually a good thing coming off a loss.
They're going to need Hunter Brown to be Hunter Brown tonight, especially after last night, TK. But he's been great, and we've seen him in 3 starts already, having a great start to 2025. This is going to be his 3rd road start already, which is completely fine with the way that he has pitched on the road. This guy, doesn't matter where he's pitching. He's looked strong. He's also pitched in cold cities, TK, in those first 2, so make it 3 tonight, a little bit more on the chilly side. But back to those road numbers and what he does. It doesn't matter where this guy pitches. He looks comfortable on the mound because of the stuff, how strong he is. The velocity's up a tick too, but look where he ranks when it comes to guys in the American League starters going back to May. Remember the tough start he had to begin 2024. It has been a long time since he's struggled, TK, just with how strong he has been since that day, but especially on the road, and they're going to need it again tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned some cool weather. The kid from Detroit not fazed by that at all, as he had 2 really good outings, his first 2 on the road this year in Minneapolis and in Seattle. He'll get the start tonight against Eric Petty for the St. Louis Cardinals. First shunned by fans and his teammates, Jackie's focus was to become the best baseball player he could be.
Jackie rifles a shot into left field.
Despite his remarkable playing ability, he still had his struggles. During the 1947 season, he faced a barrage of racial insults and even physical violence. When he signed with the Brooklyn Dodgers, Jackie had an agreement with general manager Branch Rickey to quell his temper and keep his focus on the field. Day in and day out, he was the one person who had the courage to endure all the weight of breaking the color barrier.
Can't complain about the play of the second baseman, Jackie Robinson.
Over time, his talent on the field helped him to become a beloved figure, looking beyond the color of his skin. For Jackie's on-field accomplishments in 1947, he was chosen the National League Rookie of the Year. In 1955, he became a world champion, helping lead the Brooklyn Dodgers past the Yankees after 3 consecutive World Series losses to the Bronx Bombers.
Jackie Robinson set his sights and sent a scorching home run into the left field stands to put Brooklyn ahead 9-8.
Jackie Robinson was a true pioneer, both on and off the field, creating a legacy that made him more than one of the greatest baseball players ever, but one of the greatest Americans ever. Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, 78 years ago today, breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball. You can find out a lot more information about how MLB is honoring the legacy by going to MLBtogether.com. Baseball celebrates Jackie Robinson Day. Everybody wearing the Dodger Blue 42 around Major League Baseball today.
We are in St. Louis at Busch Stadium, and it is time for Blumber's Breakdown, brought to you by Champion Energy. And I've got Astros center fielder Jake Myers out here with me. It's a beautiful day, and I just want to talk a little bit with you about your approach. We're going to talk a little bit about defense, but let's start on the offensive side. You've seen some numbers go in really good directions for you early on. The chase rates are down, getting pitches in the zone, you're hitting them hard. What shifted over the offseason, or what did you work on in spring to take into the season and swing the bat as well as you are?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it, really. I mean, it's that simple. Just trying to look for really good pitches to hit and trying to stay off of the ones where they're trying to get me to chase. I think a big thing for me is to just try to slow that game down, and being able to use my experience over the past couple of years has helped me kind of slow things down, and I'm starting to kind of realize when things are kind of speeding up. And I think that's really the key to all of it, is just more so for me, just slowing things down.
I think that's actually a really good point. I wanted to bring that up. You're not 5 years into the big leagues. It's going really well.
Yeah.
But just kind of give us an idea of what goes on pregame. I know that we can't give everything away, but there are certain teams that have certain tendencies, and then, like you said, you have that mental Rolodex that kind of says this is what possibly could happen in these at-bats. So kind of walk us through the prep getting into a game like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another thing too, is my prep this year has been a little bit different than other years. I've kind of kicked it up a little bit, watched more video and watched more stuff. Thanks to Troy Snicker, he's awesome.
Of course.
And he's really helped me organize kind of a game plan going into each series, and of kind of all the pitchers, and kind of look into how they do that, because they do that for me.
Yep.
So you want to put in the time to kind of be as prepared as you possibly can, so that you don't really get sped up in the batter's box. It can kind of help you slow down because you're prepared.
Yeah, it's hard to do when you're facing guys that are 95 plus and spinning the ball like crazy.
Right.
So credit to you for making those adjustments and doing that well at the plate. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Now let's talk a little bit about the outfield. Go on the defensive side, because the Astros, led by you out in the outfield, have one of the better outfielders, outs above average in the outfield because of the job you're doing in center field. But your job has kind of shifted a little bit. You've got a young third baseman playing right field to your left. You've got a potential Hall of Famer on your right side in left field. How has that dynamic kind of worked out through the course of the season so far?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun because, in spring training it was kind of, you don't know, how they're going to be out there, getting a feel for kind of how they move around, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of get to know them as outfielders and talk with them kind of through maybe some of the ins and outs of like where to throw the ball, or what does this play look like, and credit to Altuve, Cam Smith, all of them, Zach. They've learned so much, and they've put in a lot of time and effort into it, and so it's a lot of fun for me, because it's kind of that newfound passion for them, where it's always been my passion.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, just keep continually putting in that work, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of.
Awesome. Really appreciate you coming on with us, Jake, and doing a great job. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. We got more baseball coming your way. Lineups and first pitcher next, right here from Busch Stadium.
On Jackie Robinson Day, Jose Altuve taking a first pitch strike from Eric Fetty. Both teams wearing the blue, Dodgers number 42, as Altuve takes that one down and in for a ball, 1-1. Jose looking for his first hit in the last 4 games. He has gone 3 hitless games, 0 for his last 11 after having a hit in 12 of his first 13 games. Takes that one inside for a ball, 2-1. Altuve left the game after 3 at-bats yesterday. He was the DH, back in the field tonight as the left fielder, and after taking an initial strike, he's now got a 3-1 count. Eric Fetty delivers a strike, and the count's full on Altuve. Cardinals right-hander who spent a lot of years with the Washington Nationals. Comes back with a strikeout of Jose Altuve to start this game. Only strikeout number 6 on the year for Fetty. Here's the Astros starting lineup. Jose Altuve leading off in left field, followed by Isaac Paredes at third base. Yordan Alvarez will DH tonight. Christian Walker over at first base. Then you've got Jeremy Pena, the shortstop, batting 5th. Yainer Diaz behind the plate. He'll hit 6th. Jake Myers, you just heard, with Jeff Blum. He'll be batting 7th in center field. Cam Smith in right. And Mauricio Dubon is the second baseman. That ball bobbled, but Nolan Arenado recovers in time to record the out on Isaac Paredes. A rare bobble by Arenado, but it doesn't cost him the play.
Yeah, that's something you don't see too often from the Gold Glover, Nolan Arenado, but had to recover quickly to get Isaac Paredes. See him just rattle around on our Masters from Super Mode before he's able to grab it, get rid of it. Good stretch by Contreras over there at first.
First pitch swinging, Yordan Alvarez bounces a foul. Yordan had nothing to show for some good swings last night. He hit one 110.2 miles an hour his last time up and lined it right at the first baseman, Wilson Contreras. Also had the hardest hit baseball in the first 6 innings for the Astros when he grounded out. Ended the night 0 for 3. In general, Yordan has hit well against the Cardinals in his career with a .368 average and a .1244 OPS. That ball lined again, and again right there is Wilson Contreras, who stares down Yordan as he frustrates the big man yet again with a line drive out.
Did you say Matt or Mike? Mike.
To make his 4th start. His ERA set at 2, the record 1-1. Did a great job last time out against the Seattle Mariners. Took a no decision, even though he went 6 strong, didn't give up an earned run. Only struck out 3 in that outing, but overall this season, beautiful 18 strikeouts in 18 innings for Hunter Brown.
Hunter will face 5 lefties in the Cardinals lineup today. They will alternate lefty, righty, lefty from the top. Lars Nootbaar, Wilson Contreras, and Brendan Donovan. Donovan, the hottest hitter in all of baseball right now. Nolan Arenado had quite a night last night. Alec Burleson in there as the DH. Jordan Walker in right. Bottom 3, Nolan Gorman, lefty hitter. Pedro Pajes and Michael Ciani getting a start tonight. Just his 3rd start of the year for St. Louis. A little cooler night tonight than it was last night. 61 degrees at game time, but the winds kicking up to gusts up to 20 miles an hour make it feel like 56. There's 98 with a fastball. Hunter has seen that velocity be really firm all year long as he's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of heat you're going to see tonight out of that right arm.
Cardinals saw Hunter Brown a couple of times this spring, but not everybody in the lineup faced him. This is the first time Hunter has pitched in a regular season game against St. Louis, and it's the first time he's ever pitched, obviously, in this stadium as well. Number 23 on the checklist for Hunter out of 30 big league ballparks. Didn't miss that one by much as he tried to drop in the 0-2 pitch at the top of the zone, or the 1-2 pitch at the top of the zone. We're even up at 2 apiece. See, the Lars Nootbaar has enjoyed his season so far at Busch Stadium, not so much away from home. '97 didn't miss by much. A couple of good takes by Nootbaar, and we have a full count. Nootbaar last night 2 for 3 with a walk, also drove in a run. And that pitch had a lot of the zone. It was not exactly where Yainer Diaz was set up, and that may have cost him the call from Quinn Wolcott. That'll be an initial walk.
Looked like possibly a two-seamer they wanted down and away, but it stayed up and in. It actually ran back onto the plate, just didn't get the call.
So Nootbaar, a leadoff runner, and here is Wilson Contreras. Contreras takes a pitch for a strike, 0-1.
Should be a fun matchup for Hunter Brown, who's been throwing the ball well early in the season against a St. Louis Cardinal team that is arguably one of the best offenses in baseball.
They're right up there in all the ranks around baseball. Batting average, OPS, on base percentage, runs per game. They're all top 3. It didn't hurt those numbers at all last night against Framber Valdez, as they scored 8 runs total in that game and put 7 of them, 6 earned on Framber. Time is called as Hunter was set before Contreras was in the box. Or engaged with the pitcher, that is.
Last night, Framber's fastball just was a little bit flatter than normal, but any mistake left out over the plate was hit hard by the St. Louis Cardinals.
This ball hit to right field, hit well. Back on it goes Cam Smith. He is in front of the wall, and he reaches up and puts it away right in front of the right field wall. Cam still learning his first few weeks out in right field. That was a pretty good play over his shoulder for the catch. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. There you've got Cam Smith playing another straight game. That is now 7 in a row for Cam in right field. Jake Myers is in center. We heard from him a little while ago. Jose Altuve back in left tonight. Isaac Paredes, Jeremy Pena left side, Mauricio Dubon, Christian Walker right side, and Yainer Diaz starting the first 2 games of the series. Here's Brendan Donovan. This guy has been a tough out, not only for the Astros, but for all pitching staffs. Leads Major League Baseball with 25 hits and has the current longest active hitting streak at 10 games. Last night, Donovan moved his average up to close to 400 with a perfect 4 for 4 night. That one fouled back. It's 1-2. Astros starting the night with a record of 7-9. Cardinals are 8-8. The Astros have alternated wins and losses every game since that 3-game sweep by the Giants in series number 2 of the season. If they follow the pattern tonight, they'll come back with a win here. Next pitch fouled out of play.
Very good life on that fastball early for Hunter.
Astros were the only AL West team with a positive run differential before last night's 8-3 loss. Now everybody in the division has a negative run differential. The Astros closest to 0 at -3, along with the Los Angeles Angels.
The only division to have all 5 teams with a run differential in the negative.
And we're 16 games in. That's 10% of the schedule. So a slow start across the board in the division. A couple of teams have winning records despite the negative run differential. LA is 9-6, Texas 9-7. The Rangers are 9-7 despite being -19 in the run differential.
They've had a couple of seasons like that where it's just a little upside down. When they lose big.
Rangers currently have lost 3 in a row, having been swept by the Mariners in Seattle after Seattle won that comeback game against the Astros to wrap up that series. Donovan fighting here with 2 strikes.
Yeah, a lot of pitches early.
He has been in that number 3 spot now for the 12th time out of 17 games for St. Louis. Only hit third once in his career prior to this season. That is a really tough take. The Cardinals have taken some close pitches with 2 strikes.
That's a very good pitch. Tough take, just in off the edge. But at the same time, I don't think there's anywhere inside the skull of Brendan Donovan thought he could hit that pitch. That was 98 in on your knuckles.
This one slicing Altuve near the stands and has room to put it away. Jose makes the catch. A couple of Astros fans there to cheer him on for out number 2.
A couple of good plays in the outfield on the corners. Cam Smith going back and over his shoulder. Here, ball slicing toward the stands. Altuve was in great position to get over there early, and fortunately caught that before having any interference with the crowd or the wall. Good play. He's got his own glove, by the way. That's the Altuve, the Jose Altuve glove.
Is it?
Yeah, he's not borrowing anymore. That's his own.
Nice.
Yep. He's big time.
He is a true outfielder now. There's Nolan Arenado. Saw him 99 above the zone. Arenado, back-to-back games, really solid numbers, 5 for 8, including last night, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a home run against the Astros. 3 extra base hits in a game for Arenado, something he hasn't done since July 5th of 2023. He was part of that offensive explosion against Framber Valdez yesterday. Arenado loops one beyond first base. That's in a tough spot. It's going to drop between 3 defenders, and Arenado has his 4th hit of the series. First hit for the Cardinals, putting runners on first and third.
Unfortunately, when you've got the heat that Hunter does, you will make a pitch, and even if there is contact, it's going to create soft contact, and that's exactly what Arenado did. Basically threw it up in the air and was able to place it perfectly in between 3 Astros to get that base hit, extend this inning.
Now runners on the corners with 2 out for Alec Burleson. Burleson takes 98 for a strike, 0-1. Alec came into the game yesterday to play first base, a little past the halfway point of the game. He is the only Cardinal who has played in all 16 games so far this year. That fastball missed up and away. Cardinals have done a good job of making Hunter work in this inning. Hunter has had a lot of close pitches with 2 strikes taken just off the plate. There goes Arenado, pitches up, and they do not throw through. Arenado had kind of hesitated. The Astros elect not to throw through, and Arenado has his first stolen base of the season.
Maybe trying to draw a throw to see if they can't get the runner to score from third, but it turns out to be a rare Arenado stolen base.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. have stolen bases in this series from Arenado, and also Wilson Contreras got one yesterday. Arenado just 2 steals last year for St. Louis in 4 attempts. Well, Hunter is going to be over 25 pitches here in this first inning. A guy who has gone at least 6 innings in all 3 of his starts, getting tested here early by this patient and hot St. Louis offense. That one's popped up. Looks like it's going to stay in play for Yainer Diaz. It does, and that'll do it for the Cardinals in the first. They threatened with a single, a walk, and a stolen base, but were scoreless after 1.
What's on Tap is presented by Art Car IPA. We're talking Jeremy Pena, who's hit the ball hard this season. Probably should have a few more hits, but he's gotten unlucky at times. The thing about this, though, is that hard hit percentage is going up each year. 35 to 39 last year. How about 52% this year? So that's what we mean. He's looked really good at the plate. Trying to drive the ball more this year, so he just a few changes. Stance good, swing good for him, like that 3-run home run. He liked that, guys.
So do we.
Yeah, we were cheering for it.
Want to pick the stick last night.
Yeah, it did.
Down to our last shot. Jeremy put one over the wall in left center for a 3-run home run. He bats second in the inning. Look out, this barrel is heading all the way, following the ball towards short. It ends up near Nolan Arenado at third as Brendan Donovan ignored the barrel of the bat, made the play for out number 1.
Pretty good saw job right there by Fetty. 2-seamer running in. Nice crisp night, and that barrel just destroyed, left with nothing but a handle.
So here is Jeremy Pena. He's done a nice job against the team that his daddy used to play for. Geronimo played here from 1990 to 95, and now Jeremy's turn against St. Louis. He has hit in all 7 games against the Cardinals, including a 3-run home run last night, accounting for the Astros' 3 runs. So a 370 mark against his dad's former team with an 898 OPS. That one's off the plate wide, 2-1. Astros saw Eric Fetty a decent amount in spring training years ago with Washington, and then he went to Korea for a season. And the last year, both the White Sox and the Cardinals he pitched for. Only 5 strikeouts coming into today in 15 innings. And he had allowed more walks than hits on the season, with 8 walks to 7 hits allowed. He's had 2 really good starts and 1 not so good start as he delivers 3-2 just below the zone. That's a good take. Quinn Wolcott has called a pretty good zone so far. He is not calling pitches off the plate for a strike, and that one just missed.
Along with that hard hit percentage from Jeremy Payne, taking pitches like that are going to make him that much better too, because he's going to force a lot of these pitchers to rethink how they approach him by throwing some of those pitches off the plate. Because if he's not chasing, he's going to take those walks until you start throwing those pitches in the zone.
And he's always a threat with a walk to end up at second base. Jeremy 4 for 4 in steals this year after a 20 stolen base season last year. Here's Yainer Diaz. Yainer had his first base hit away from Dyken Park last night. It was a softly hit ground ball to short. He just beat out the throw from Brendan Donovan. Yainer just 1 for 19 on the road this year. Needs to get things rolling. Part of the reason the Astros have struggled at times to score runs is they haven't had the normal production from Yainer. He has 4 of his 6 RBIs on the season in 1 swing at Dyken Park with that grand slam, his first of his career, and 5 of his 6 RBIs in 1 game. Yainer down to the count here, 1-2. Fetty realizes Pena might think about going, so he checks him at first base. Jeremy maybe just a little bit bigger lead now after that first disengagement. He stays. The pitch home off the plate, 2-2. Once Fetty gets to 2 strikes, he stays away more than any other pitcher in baseball last season. But does not get a lot of chase out there. Only a 32% chase rate with 2 strikes last season. But this time he does get a chase as Yainer goes down swinging, just a second strikeout and 2 away in the inning.
April 15th marks Jackie Robinson's historic MLB debut. Robinson's courage and determination in the face of adversity is as much an example now as ever before. Join baseball in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day and visit MLBtogether.com/42 to learn more.
There's Jake Myers. He had a nice conversation with Jake before the game.
It was a lot of fun to catch up with them. It's kind of fun to hang around these guys and see them break in and, you know, kind of go through the maturation process. But I thought he was very well spoken. Had a great idea of what he was doing at the plate. There's been some peripheral conversations on maybe a plane flight or 2 where you kind of get to see the inside of Jake, but it was nice to have him on with me and talk about his approach and talk about working with a couple of corner outfielders that are not really outfielders just yet. They're still working on it.
Jake puts the ball in play with a sharply hit base hit past the second baseman Nolan Gorman. Pena easily gets to third. So the Astros have runners on first and third here with 2 outs.
And a lot of what he was talking about, working with Troy Snicker, doing a lot of video work and trying to understand what opposing teams are doing to him, has a lot to do with this. The idea of he's going to get some fastballs middle in, and he's going to see some pitches on that outer third, but he's done such a good job of letting the ball travel that it's made it easier for him to get the barrel to it, and shoots that one the other way at 107 miles an hour. And that's very encouraging for the Blunder's breakdown. If you get a hit, more guys want to talk to me now.
I like it. Let's go. Strike call to Cam Smith. Cam getting his 7th consecutive start. So a guy who early in the season was seeing about 2 out of every 3 games in a series, now getting a chance to play on a regular basis since his 2 days off. The last game in Minnesota and the first game in Seattle. Ever since then, Cam has played every game. There's a good take on a pitch off the plate, 2-1 the count. Cam starts the night 8 for 39 on the season, hitting .205. He's done a much better job lately of putting the ball in play. Fouls that one back, and the count evens at 2 apiece.
It's a good swing. Not easy to learn and develop at this level. Like TK said, a little more aggressive, swinging inside the zone. Therefore, some of the hits are starting to come. But we still have yet to see him kind of break out like he did in spring training. Man, has that outfield shifted the other way against him, isn't it?
Yep. You can tell they know the scouting report that Cam likes to hit the ball hard and hit it the other way. There goes Myers. The pitch is wide. The throw is going to go through. Myers is safe. Pena thought about trying to come home, but elected to stay at third base. The Astros pick up a steal. Jake's team leading 6th steal of the year.
Yeah, I got the 2 burners on the base paths right now between Pena and Myers. Healthy competition in the stolen base department as Jake takes off. Picked a good pitch to run on, too. That was a sweeper off the plate. Tough for Pages to make that catch and throw.
3-2 pitches down. Good plate appearance by Cam Smith, drawing the walk to load them up for Mauricio Dubon. Exact same scenario, bottom of the 1st and top of the 2nd. Cardinals 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, sent the runner. Astros elected not to throw through. Astros do the same thing in the top of the 2nd. Cardinals do throw through, but they were able to keep the ball near second base so that Jeremy Pena did not elect to try and go for the double steal. So now here's Dubon with the bases filled. Astros only 2 of 20 on the year with the bases loaded. One of those 2 hits a grand slam by Yainer Diaz.
I'd like to see Doobie come through right here, just getting the opportunity with Rogers and that injury.
Dubon has now started 4 of his last 5 at second base. Hits the ball to right field. Back on it goes Jordan Walker, and the Astros are going to strand the bases loaded. A couple of walks and a base hit. Astros fail to score in the 2nd. Stropo, we're going to ask you which player might have the most improvement offensively by the end of the year. We've got Yainer Diaz as your choice A, Jake Myers as your choice B, Jeremy Pena choice C, and Cam Smith choice D. Go to @SpaceCityHN. Use the hashtag Stropo. We'll give you the results later on tonight. Jordan Walker leading off here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Walker, Nolan Gorman, and Pedro Pages, 6, 7, and 8 in the Cardinals lineup.
It's a good run. Man, that was more of a traditional 2-seamer instead of just flatly running in on the hands. That was down and in. 96. Sounds terrible. For a right-handed hitter, that sounds incredibly tough to try and get the barrel out on.
And Jake loves to work inside, especially with that two-seamer or sinker since last year. Gets the ground ball on this pitch in. Jeremy Pena's right there. His throw's low, and it's picked nicely on the other side by Christian Walker. One away in the inning.
Some of the numbers on that four-seam fastball, that's one that traditionally is a little bit more firm, and this season it's jumped to 97.3. And with that uptick in velocity, how about the average against it dropping considerably coming into this game at 091 against that four-seamer at 97.3.
Here's Nolan Gorman. Hunter missing with the first two to the Cardinals second baseman. It's 2-0. Hunter told you earlier this season he hopes to throw one pitch, at least one pitch this year at 100 miles an hour. I don't think it's going to be on a night like tonight, though. That would be a surprise.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
It's cool nights. He's still got one at 99 against Nolan Arenado, but yeah, to really reach back on a cool night like this might be a little bit tougher. So you might see him sitting around 95, 97, which still is pretty good, especially on a night like this where some of the hitters are going to have some cold hands as well.
Hunter Green of the Reds is really the only starter around baseball who regularly hits 100 miles an hour. That's at the top of the zone for a strike. Gorman with a full count.
3-1 changeup up top. As a hitter, facing a high velo type guy in a fastball count, you're kind of sitting on the fastball. Nolan Gorman got the 3-1 changeup. Now you're wondering, is he going to throw the changeup again, or is he going to try and blow the doors off me with 96, 97?
A little bit down, ball 4. Cardinals have their third base runner of the night. Second walk allowed by Hunter.
StechCast 3D powered by Google Cloud is going to show you that velocity and maybe the difference that the hitter sees. Not much between that two-seam and four-seam, but the movement's what makes that pitch different than the four-seam fastballs. It'll move into a right-handed hitter. The changeup, you drop almost just under 10 miles an hour against that pitch. But then the knuckle curve has drastically different break and also has a different shape to it. So 4 quality pitches, and he also has that little bit of a wrinkle of a slider cutter that he can throw in there. Slider at 90, has a cutter around 94 sometimes.
Hunter gets quickly ahead of the opposing catcher Pedro Pages, 0-2.
Hunter talked about gaining a little bit of velocity. That wasn't the idea going into his offseason program. Went back home to Michigan and really worked on his flexibility and strengthening that left hip. And that's kind of created, the byproduct has been more velocity.
See a late swing there on 97. At bats ending with a four-seamer. Hitters are just 2 of 22 coming into tonight with 8 strikeouts. And that could have been an at-bat that ended with the four-seamer and should have been. Hunter has to wonder, how much of the plate do I need? It has definitely been a hitter zone early in this game.
Yeah, not the entire baseball has to be inside the zone, just a piece of it.
That one's down, 2-2.
The strike zone is going to force Hunter to kind of control his emotions a little bit. Just because you're not getting the call that you think you should get doesn't mean you have to try and be too fine.
He had one in the first inning on the outside edge. That was not where Diaz was set up, but that last 0-2 pitch was right where Yiner was set up, and it was just missed by Quinn Wolcott.
How about Yiner's gear? 42s all over. That's beautiful.
I did not notice that.
Good call.
Ground ball over the mound. Could it be two? Dubon steps on the bag, makes the throw to first. So Hunter will take the lack of the strikeout and turn it into a double play instead. Cardinals down, facing the minimum for Hunter with that double play. Houston Astros baseball on Space City Home Network is presented by Jack in the Box. If the Astros score 3 runs or more, you score a free Jumbo Jack at Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Gallery Furniture. Made in America is important to you. Shop Gallery Furniture today. Back in St. Louis, ready to go in the 3rd inning, Jose Altuve to lead things off against Eric Fetty. Altuve struck out his first time up. Altuve had the batting average of .339 just a few games ago, but that 0 for 12 has taken that down to .288 when today's game started, so a 51-point drop. Pitch down, 1-1. Eric Fetty had 2 really good starts this year against Minnesota in his first start for the Cardinals in 2025, and then at Pittsburgh his last start. Those 2 games he went a combined 12 innings of 2-hit baseball, allowing 1 run. But his middle start, the second start of the year, got hit around by the Red Sox, was knocked out after 3 innings, giving up 6 runs. Altuve with a base hit down the left field line. That is going to head towards the corner. Jose is going to get into second base. That is his first double of the season. Altuve, a leadoff base runner for the Astros.
Had that look on his face like he was grateful that he finally got it. Maybe sacrificed a bat to get it with that 2-seamer running in on him. But he also had Arenado playing him maybe around even with the third base bag, and just didn't have enough time to react and knock that down. So it ends up being that first double of the season for Jose.
Altuve had 3 extra base hits on the year, all home runs before that double. Now here's Isaac Paredes. After the zone was kind of tight on Hunter Brown, that first pitch called a strike. It's 0-1. Isaac grounded out to third his first time up. Two guys in the lineup that have the most at bats against Fetty are Christian Walker with 11 career ABs and Isaac Paredes with 6 career at bats. Isaac does have a home run against Fetty, not only in the regular season, also hit one against him this spring. Down and in, 2-1. Isaac had both his 3-game home run streak snapped last night and also his 5-game hitting streak snapped as he went 0 for 3 with a walk.
Good time to start a new one.
Might have a pitch here that he might be able to look forward to drive. Hits the ball hard to left field, but had to hit a line drive. Had the exit velocity, didn't have the launch angle, as that's a line out to Newpark for out number 1.
Another hard hit baseball that the Astros don't see a result on that they want. Isak did a good job of dropping the barrel on that one. Nothing to show for it. This guy's done that a couple of times too
in this series. Jordan's due for a break, lined out his first time up. Jordan and Paredes tied for the team lead with 9 runs batted in. The guy who has scored the most runs is on base, Altuve with 10. Jordan fouls one out of play. Ball hit foul.
So the expected slug on these guys going across the top of the negative differential compared to what the actual number is. And you can see that that's a pretty big discrepancy for guys in this lineup who have been hitting the ball hard, looking for better results.
That ball towards the middle again. Jordan hits it hard, but again a defender is there, played by Brendan Donovan for out number 2.
Differences you'd like to see the expected a little bit closer. Some high numbers, almost 200-point difference for Jordan Alvarez. Keeps hitting line drives and right into some of these partial shifts against them. We know that Christian Walker early on the first week was just smashing the baseball all over the place and had nothing to show for it. But it's kind of tough to be in that situation where you're doing everything right, but when you don't see the results, you feel like you've got to make an alteration of the swing sometimes.
Isak hit his ball in this inning 106.2. Lined out to left for the first out of the inning, and now it's up to Christian Walker to try and bring the run home with 2 outs. Christian grounded out to short his first time up. Only 2 runs batted in for Christian through his first 16 Astros games. One of those came on a solo home run. Trying to give the Astros the first run of this game. It's off the plate, 1-2. Eric Fetty, now 32 years old, from Las Vegas, went to UNLV and Las Vegas High, where he was a teammate of Bryce Harper's. Called third strike. That's the pitch Hunter Brown wanted a couple of times in this game. It goes Eric Fetty's way. That'll do it for the Astros in the 3rd.
best in Texas power pitcher is driven by Ford. The year is 1968, and Bob Gibson with the Cardinals goes 304 and 2/3 innings and has a 1.12 ERA, 268 strikeouts in that time. He had a WAR of 11.2, 13 shutouts, 28 complete games. He was the Cy Young Award winner and MVP Award winner, and they had to alter the height of the mound because of what he did in 1968. So in lowering the mound, it raised his ERA the next year to 2.18. Bob Gibson, one of the greats.
There's a base hit through the middle by Michael Ciani. Ciani getting a start tonight in center field. Had a base hit coming in last night's game defensively in his lone at bat. So he's now 3 for 10 on the season and a leadoff base runner here against Hunter Brown.
More stellar numbers on the Cardinal great. In his career, 251 wins, 2.91 is that ERA, that WHIP, 1.18. A couple of World Series titles, Cy Youngs and MVP, 9 Gold Gloves, and oh, by the way, 200, I think it said 255 complete games. That's all.
Well, that year you mentioned 68, his last 25 starts, he had 23 complete games.
Is that finishing strong?
Oh my gosh, when you have that many innings, just decides to take it to the house every start basically down the stretch.
Do the guys even go to the bullpen? Just sit in the dugout and watch it in admiration of what he's doing.
Yeah, it's Bob Gibson Day. We don't even need to go down there.
They threw 27 innings in the postseason that year, too.
Wow. And they got all the way to the World Series against the Tigers in '68.
Oh, incredible.
Top of the order, Lars Nootbaar at the plate. Nootbaar walked his first time up.
Bob Gibson made his debut back in 1959 on this date.
There you go. Ground ball sharply hit. Paredes is there. He goes to Pena, the shortstop. That's the old 5-6-3 double play with a little mini shift in place for the Astros. That was nicely done. Hunter needed something like that, a sharply hit double play.
And that ball being hit hard allowed them to turn it on. Nootbaar runs pretty well, but with that ball quickly to Isak, able to flip it over to Jeremy, and a casual throw to first to complete that double play. So Hunter Brown's ability to get ground balls has helped him in back-to-back innings.
Have 2 double plays hit by the last 3 batters. Now facing Wilson Contreras with a 1-0 count. Pitch misses with 98. It's 2-0. We talk a lot about Mauricio Dubon and his shift from the old bat into the torpedo bat era, but that's also happened to Wilson Contreras. This ball skied up in the air. Jose Altuve will wait a long time for this one to come down, as Contreras just got under that one. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning, including a double play, facing the minimum, that is, for Hunter Brown. Second straight inning he's faced the minimum with a double play in the mix.
welcome everybody back. Earlier today, a special guest on the field, 13-year-old DJ Daniels, or Officer DJ Daniels, cancer survivor. He's been battling for years, brain cancer, but inspiring so many these days. His goal is to be sworn in by 1,000 law enforcement agencies, guys. He's on his way today. Earlier this morning, 200 departments were present, so his total went up. He was sworn into 200 departments today, which is awesome. But a Houstonian, so you saw him meeting Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena. They were taking some time to really get to know him. Really cool to see them going back and forth. And people might remember he was sworn in as an honorary member for the U.S. Secret Service and keeps his badge on him, so I felt very safe down there.
We're going to see him down in Daikin Parks Field in the not-too-distant future. Great to see him here before the game, getting a chance to meet Altuve and Jeremy Pena, amongst others. And he was very excited to meet Julie as well.
Who isn't?
Well, that's true. JP hits the ball sharply, but backhanded by Brendan Donovan. His throw is picked at first. Wilson Contreras still learning the position, looking pretty good on that pick for the first out of the inning.
Not an easy play with Jeremy Pena hustling down, but there it is. U.S. Secret Service Special Agent. It's an outstanding story.
So sweet. He wanted a hug. And of course, I'm all in. He said the best hugs are the ones where you lift up one foot.
Oh.
It's awesome.
That's pretty good.
But you're right. You're right. I think we're going to see him in Houston very soon.
One on one the count to Yainer Diaz, who struck out his first time up. This ball hit the short again. Brendan Donovan, who hadn't played at shortstop for over 2 years, now all of a sudden their regular shortstop in the absence of Mason Wynn, who's on the IL. That's 2 away. Astros Friday night games at Daikin Park are the spot to be. Kickstart your weekend with Friday night fireworks presented by ConocoPhillips. Grab your tickets now at astros.com/promotions for this Friday's game against the San Diego Padres. Quick one-city road trip and then back into Houston. Astros will be in town for a 6-game homestand, with the Padres followed by the Blue Jays coming into town. Then it'll be a quick 3-game trip to Kansas City to return home for a quick 3-day homestand against the Tigers, and then all the one-city trips or one-team homestands will be over for the rest of the year.
And then, you're not a big fan of Dude, Where's My Car?
Ah.
And then?
Missed that one. Yeah, so a lot of early 3-game trips and 3-game homestands, and then they go away after April.
Have we checked the weather in Kansas City?
Have not looked forward to that.
I'm not looking at that.
Today
I'm
was
hoping it changes.
Today, Julie was right about the weather. How about your guy Jake the Rake Myers?
He is putting on a display today.
Blummer's breakdown is 2 for 2.
It's good to see Jake swing the bat well.
Did you tell him to go up the middle?
I said keep doing what you're doing. But what he's been doing is getting the barrel to the baseball. He's not trying to get too big on a lot of these swings, kind of just maneuvering the baseball around to rack up those hits. So it's good to see Jake swinging the bat well after that base hit. Now sits at 279 on the season.
There might be some guys disappointed to find out you only do that once a week.
Yeah.
Jake ends up with a 3 or 4 hit game today. People will be looking for you tonight. Here's Cam Smith, who walked his first time up. Jake stole bases last time he was on. His 6 steal and 7 attempts so far this year. That's another thing, is he's been a lot more aggressive on the bases.
I do like it, yeah. Give him a little bit more of the green light, but that might mean more fastballs for Cam Smith too. Catchers have a tendency to put down the #1, or at least punch the pitch comm #1 for the fastball, because they want the pitch to get to them quicker so they can try and throw out that base runner at second base. So maybe Cam could be a beneficiary of some of this early speed from Jake Myers and get himself a fastball he could jump on.
Jake looked like he wanted to go last pitch, and they pulled and they checked him up first, and now Cam Smith goes the other way for a base hit. So Cam has himself a single into right. Back-to-back 2-out base hits for Myers and Smith. So there's been some traffic from Mauricio Dubon. Last time he batted with the bases loaded in 2 outs. Now he bats first and second in 2 outs.
Just a center cut fastball. It doesn't look like Cam Smith is really trying to do too much with those pitches. Just continuing to shoot the ball the other way. Came off the bat nicely at 110.4.
It just has that easy exit velocity to right field.
It is easy.
22-year-old still learning the game. Only 40 major league at bats to this point. He's now 9 for 40. Dubon has himself a hitter's count here, 2-0. Mauricio last night had a 2-hit game, went 2 for 3. He was the only Astro with a multiple hit game in the first game here in St. Louis. Now it's 3-0 with Altuve on deck.
Mauricio, you're taking at least one right here. Dial in on that release point, watch it go through the zone, time it up in your head, and if you get that 3-1 fastball, put a good swing on it. There you go, get a visual on it. You want Dubon to do the same thing that Myers and Smith did, just go up the middle the other way. Keep this line moving. If he pulls one in that left center field gap, the guys are going to be off the track meet.
And good speed on the bases.
Make him do it again.
Dubon looked like he was content with taking that pitch as well.
Auto take. He's going to make him pitch. Yeah. Dare him to do it again.
Now the guys with good speed are going to get a head start on the bases with 2 outs. Jake will be off from second. Cam Smith off from first. And that's just below the zone. Close pitch taken by Dubon for a walk. And the Astros will have them loaded for Jose Altuve.
Good take. Good at bat by Mauricio, not giving in. That was a pitcher's pitch. 2-seamer down below the zone, just below the MD Anderson strike zone.
So the Astros have their second opportunity tonight with the bases loaded. We'll have a little visit at the mound here. Gives us an opportunity to have a word from Woodlands Church.
At Woodlands Church, there's a place for everyone. We don't have all the answers, but we're looking to the one who does.
Eric Fetty seen his share of base runners here. Bases were loaded in the second, a leadoff double in the third, and now bases loaded, all coming with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Jose turned on a 2-seamer in off the plate for a double in the previous at bat.
Coach Dusty Blake having his say, and now back to the dugout. So Altuve a chance to put the Astros on the board first here. Goes after the first one and fouls it away. Jose did not have a regular season at bat against Fetty before today. Takes that one off the plate, 1-1. Astros doing a good job of waiting for strikes here. It's 2-1 the count to Altuve.
Might see a pretty good pitch to hit right here. I'm sure Fetty wants to fall behind 3-1.
Fetty has walked 3 so far in the game.
cutter.
Myers on third, Smith on second, Dubon on first with 2 outs. Altuve sends this one to center field. Looks like it's playable for Ciani, and it is. Astros will strand 3 for the second time in this game, and we're still scoreless.
It is time to play Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. First ever Houston batter, Brooklyn Dodger milestone. 24th inning walk-off. If you know who that Astro is, hop on X and go to @SpaceCityHN. Tell us who you think that Astro is, powered by Reliant.
Hunter Brown back out there for the bottom half of the 4th inning. Hunter has used a couple of double play balls the 2nd and 3rd inning to face the minimum. He's had traffic every inning so far as he faces the 3, 4, and 5 hitters and misses outside after the first one misses. 2-0. Brendan Donovan really battled Hunter his first time up before fouling out to Jose Altuve down the left field line. That's a strike at the bottom of the zone. 2-1. Into shallow right center field. Long run for Cam Smith, and he can't quite get there. Gets past Jake Myers, and that allows Donovan to get into second base. 11-game hitting streak for Donovan, longest streak in the major leagues, as he just flared that one in between 3 defenders.
I think the Cardinals believe that exit velocity is overrated. Good changeup. Donovan gets enough of it to loft it out there into no man's land again, much like Nolan Arenado did down the line. Cam Smith looked like he might have had a bead on it, but got caught in between diving and maybe sliding to make that catch.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he was right in between. Is he still learning that outfield position?
I think that's what it is. It's one thing, you know, as an infielder, you're diving sideways, maybe with your glove up a little bit. I think diving in, trying to make a catch on a ball that's in the air might be a little bit different. And it's not one of those things you can practice. You just got to basically throw your body out there and see if you can make the play. And he didn't feel like he had the ability to on that drop shot.
And you talked with Jake Myers pregame in our Blumers breakdown, and he mentioned the communication. You could see Jake screaming to Cam, saying as they were converging, it's your ball. So he wanted to let him know he wasn't going for it, so he didn't have the fear of a collision.
Clear the runway. Yeah, clear the runway for Cam if he did want to make a choice and dive after that ball. So it was pretty good communication.
That one misses to Arenado, 2-1. Nolan blooped a single down the right field side his first time up. Hits this ball on the ground to third. Paredes will make the play across for the first out. So Arenado, who's been dangerous lately, retired for the first out. Here's Alec Burleson. Burleson popped up to Yainer Diaz to end a first inning threat with first and third and 2 outs. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. Not only does everybody wear the 42 on Jackie Robinson Day, but it is the Dodger blue 42. It has nothing to do with the team colors are, but everybody has the same shade, the same 42 color. This ball sharply hit past first base into right field. Being held up at third base is Donovan. Initially it looked like he was going to be sent home, but they held him up at the last minute, and Cam Smith showing off his arm just in case.
Yes, he did. Burleson did a good job of raking that curveball into right field. This ball hit hard, split the defense on the right-hand side, but Cam Smith came in with other intentions with that baseball. Runner being held up at third base, but a great throw through the cutoff man. One hop right to Yainer. That is fundamentally well executed by Cam Smith.
So now Hunter will have to work around first and third with 1 out. Ron Pop Warner, a third base coach, originally was sending Donovan, but thought better of it. Probably a good decision to keep him at third. Swing and a miss at the cutter down, 0-1.
Well, Hunter would like to get another ground ball to get out of this situation or get that first strike out of the game.
Yeah, how about Hunter? No strikeouts through 3 1/3. That ball looped to short. That's going to be caught by Pena. All the base runners get back to their respective bases. Jordan Walker, soft line drive. Hunter got in the kitchen there for the second out.
Yeah, that's a two-seamer up and in at 96.4 miles an hour. This is what that two-seamer can do. On Mattress Firm Supermo, you can see Walker just fighting that off. Little butterfly out to shortstop for the out.
Hunter since 2023 third in the American League, averaging 9.82 strikeouts per 9. So a very rare start where he is 2 outs into the 4th without 1 strikeout.
Well, I thought it was interesting last start, pitching well against the Seattle Mariners, but in 6 innings only had 3 strikeouts.
There goes the runner, swing and a miss. Astros do not throw through. They're basically begging the Astros to throw through, as that's twice now that they have stopped shy of second base, but no one covering second.
Yeah, it's obvious the defense for the Astros in that first and third situation is not to throw the ball, because there was nobody covering second base. Even if Yainer wanted to throw that down there, he couldn't. Watch the middle of the infield. Jeremy Pena is in coverage, but he holds his ground. And an arm pump doesn't get anybody to move.
Cardinals just testing to see if the Astros would ever throw down there, and so far they haven't. Alec Burleson picking up a rare steal. Now Gorman takes 99 off the plate. It's 1-2. Gorman walked his first time up. And a foul tip. There's a good time for your first strikeout. Hunter Brown K's Nolan Gorman to end the 4th, leaving runners on second and third. Both teams have had opportunities, but we're still scoreless heading to inning 5. Astros baseball on Space City Home Network is presented by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. By Rooms To Go, now is the best time to save on a new mattress during the store-wide mattress sale at Rooms To Go. And by Dr. Michael Kaplan and the sinus specialist at Kaplan Sinus Relief Center. Breathe well, live well. Isaac Paredes leading off the 5th inning for the Astros. Astros have stranded 7 through 4 innings. Cardinals have stranded 4 through 4 innings. And we are scoreless headed to the 5th. Cardinals 4 runners left on base have been at 2nd and 3rd in the 1st and the 4th inning. Astros have left the bases loaded twice and also left a runner on 3rd. This ball popped foul down the left field side, giving it a look. Arenado, and he can't quite make the basket catch. He was turning and adjusting on the fly and couldn't come up with it.
Nolan's been known to make some spectacular catches in foul territory. This one kind of eluded him and kind of drifted a little bit up towards the line. He was anticipating it to get quicker over by the stands. He's human.
10 Gold Gloves, tied with Mike Schmidt for the 2nd most ever at 3rd base in MLB history. As Paredes goes down on strikes, Eric Fetty has strikeout number 4 and went away in the 5th. Fetty had 2 strikeouts his first start, 1 his second start, and 2 more his last start. Now he's got 4 tonight, a season high. Well, here's Jordan. He's lined out and hit a ground ball to short for the 2nd out. 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 5 in the series, despite hitting the ball pretty well here in St. Louis. Jordan misses 90 at the top of the zone. It's 0-2.
Must be an elusive fastball from Fetty with some of the swings we're seeing at 90 to 93.
A little bit in, 1-2. Astros had a big weekend series against the Angels in terms of offense, including that 14-run outburst on Friday night. They finished the series with 7 runs on Sunday, had 22 total in that series. Trying to find that offensive rhythm again here in St. Louis. It was nearly the first shutout of the season last night. Thank goodness Jeremy Pena came through with 2 outs with a 3-run home run. So it made the Astros offense seem okay last night when they were really dormant for 26 outs. This ball sent in the air to center field. Jordan didn't miss this by much. Straightaway center for out number 2.
Ladies, don't miss Girls Night Out this Saturday, the 19th, presented by Kendra Scott. Celebrate with music, photo ops, a vendor expo, and more. Plus, get your glitter jersey and bracelet add-on package while supplies last at astros.com/GNO.
Two outs, base is empty for Christian Walker, who fouls one back. All night games this weekend at Dyken Park with the Padres in town. 7:10 Friday, 6:10 Saturday, and a 6:10 ESPN Sunday night broadcast. Padres are 14-3 on the year, including 11-0 at home. Walker down to the count, 0-2. If the Astros don't get the bats going here in St. Louis, it's not exactly like they're going to have an easy task the way the Padres are pitching right now. 47 runs allowed in 17 games from the Padres staff. That one's off the plate, 1-2. Fetty picks up another strikeout. He's got 5 now. That's the total he had in 3 starts before tonight. 1-2 3 inning for the second time this evening for Fetty.
games are presented by Sage. Let's look at the only strikeout in this game from Hunter Brown. He came bringing the noise. 98.7, 98.9, 98.7, 98.4 before he finally struck out Nolan Gorman for the first strikeout of this game. And I did not have Fetty striking out more than Hunter Brown thus far in the game.
No, the numbers would not have led you to believe that, but Fetty with 5 to the 1 strikeout for Hunter. But it was almost like Hunter decided second and third, I'm going to take it in my own hands here and not.
Yeah, there was a little extra. I'm with you.
Hunter now facing 8, 9, and 1 here to start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Pedro Pajes grounded into a double play his first time up. Takes a strike right down the middle with 95. It's 1-2. Cardinals catchers have done a nice job this season. Ivan Herrera, Pedro Pajes, and Yoel Pozo combining to lead all Major League Baseball in offensive categories across the board from their catching position. This one tap foul, and it stays 1-2. Cardinals came into tonight tied for second in the NL Central with the Reds, game and a half behind the Chicago Cubs. There's a pitch on the outside corner that Hunter gets the call. Right on the edge of the outside corner for strikeout number 2. Now a word from Buick GMC.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. The GMC Sierra.
Here's Michael Ciani, who had a base hit his first time up. Ciani has played in 12 games and only has 10 at-bats on the season. He came in defensively for the Cardinals and played in all 6 of their games to start the year and did not have an at-bat. Only his 3rd start. Came in last night and did get an at-bat after coming in defensively and had a single, so he's 2 for 2 in the series. Victor Scott II getting most of the work in center field this year for St. Louis. There's a strike, 2-1. Hunter to this point has walked a couple. He's also allowed 4 Cardinal base hits. Strike 2, and the count evens up. Astros with series number 6 on the year tonight against St. Louis. They have played 3 series in the American League and 3 series against the National League teams. Start of the year with the Mets and the Giants, and now playing the Cardinals, and in between and the Twins, the Mariners, and the Angels back at home. All those teams, with the exception of the Twins, either 500 or better coming into today. There's a strikeout. Hunter Brown has 3 in a row after not having any strikeouts through 3 2/3.
All 3 of them coming on that fastball. He's reaching back and getting a little bit more when he needs it. That was great 2-seam run to a left-handed hitter. Usually we see that running into a right-handed hitter and jamming them, but this one tailing away and getting the chase.
I like that arm side run. That's pretty impressive. Ciani was very patient at the plate, thought that was a strike the whole way, and it just tailed off the plate. Hunter misses on the first 2 to Lars Nootbaar, who walked to start the game. Both the walks issued by Hunter have come on 3-2 pitches. That one's off the plate, and Hunter's down to the count 3-0. Little regroup time for Hunter behind the mound. Here's a strike. Hunter walked 3 in his first start against the Mets. Didn't walk anybody his next 2 on the road against Minnesota and Seattle, and then 2 more walks tonight. Now he's back 3-2.
Some more arm side run away from the left-handed hitter. That's been effective. Good velo on it too, 96.
Got him.
How about it?
Hunter punching tickets in the 5th inning, getting Pajes, Ciani, and Nootbaar striking out the side. We head to inning number 6, still scoreless.
Get On Play is driven by Toyota. This is fun looking back. One of the best to ever do it. The Wizard Ozzie Smith was a 13-time Gold Glove Award winner, receiving 11 of those while he was here in St. Louis. My goodness, this video is so much fun to watch. 13 consecutive seasons winning that Gold Glove. 19-year career, Hall of Famer. Another thing about Ozzie, though, is he's so passionate about the game and teaching it, and passionate about today, too, guys. With Jackie Robinson Day, he continues to talk to the current players about how important he is to the game.
Jeremy Pena with a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Pena continues to hit well against his dad's former team. His dad, Geronimo, a double play partner with Ozzie Smith from 90 through 95. And Jeremy now with a hit in all 8 games against his dad's former team.
The ball was tagged. That was a 2-seamer that ran back over the middle part of the plate. Jeremy more than ready. It's a laser off that left center field wall to get things going. Astros would love to see some of that hard contact start to fall and drive some of these runs in after Hunter Brown has started to mow down the St. Louis Cardinals.
Here's Yainer Diaz 0 for 2 tonight. Yainer hits the ball to the right side. Coming in, Jordan Walker makes a sliding catch. And that's out number 1. Pena was thinking of tagging up but never got back to the bag in time. So Walker sliding catch and Pena unable to advance.
Seen some good defense out there in right field from Jordan Walker. Pretty good jump, came running in. Able to slide, make that catch, and hold on and keep Jeremy at second base.
Now here's Jake Myers. I think if Jeremy was on the bag, he could have tagged once he saw Walker go into the slide. But he was kind of a little bit off second base and unable to advance the 90 feet. 90 feet pretty critical in the 6th inning of a scoreless game. Jake's 2 for 2 tonight, including a stolen base, couple of singles for Myers. Sends this ball to right, and again they're going to challenge Walker. This one's going to fall in. Jeremy's going to be held up, and he's running right through the stop sign, and he is safe. He ran right through the stop sign of Tony Perez-Chica, took a chance and scores the first run of the game.
A lot going on there. Jake with his third hit of the game, dropping that one in front of Jordan Baker, and TK is exactly right. We both sat from our vantage point and watched Jeremy Pena put his head down and run right through Perez-Chica's stop sign. That was a great job by Walker to be able to smother that and come up throwing. But watch Jeremy, he finally realizes that Jordan Walker's not going to make the play, and he's only got one thing on his mind. Luckily, the speed and athleticism get him in there for that first run.
Jake Myers 3 for 3, drives in the first run of the game. And here's Cam Smith.
I feel like there's only one person on the diamond that could make that decision, and it was Jeremy Pena.
I think Jeremy might have been a little frustrated with himself for not tagging on the previous play, so he's like, all right,
I'll make up for it.
I'm going to make up for it. And Perez-Chica put up the stop sign, and Jeremy's like, I got you, though. I've got to try and score here, and he made the right decision. Now Cam Smith takes one inside for a ball, 2-1.
Jeremy was going at 29.8 feet per second. Second to home in 8.93 seconds.
Woo. That ball rocketed.
Oh my gosh, he caught it.
Fetty caught it in the air. He gloved it. The ball stayed in the air, and he turns a double play. Incredible reaction by Eric Fetty on a rocket up the middle by Cam Smith.
I'm not sure how this happened, but somehow Fetty's able to stay with it to turn that double play and end this inning. Cam can't believe it.
Bottom of the sixth inning, Hunter Brown working with a lead for the first time. It is a one-run lead at 1-0. Hunter, coming off his first 1-2-3 inning in the fifth, struck out all three batters he faced. Now he's got 2, 3, and 4 to deal with. Wilson Contreras, Brendan Donovan, and Nolan Arenado. Astros get their bullpen going as the inning starts, as Hunter about to throw his 90th pitch of the night. Taylor Scott beginning to loosen up in the Astros pen. Hunter has gone at least 6 innings, all 3 starts this season, trying to get through 6 again tonight. He's got the toughest part of the order of the hottest offense in baseball to get through. Cardinals leading all of baseball in on-base percentage and batting average. Top 3 in slug percentage. Also second in OPS. 2-2 on Contreras, who was flying to right and flying to left. Try to hold up, and he does. 3-2. Ramon De Jesus says no swing. Pretty important pitch here for Hunter with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th in his final inning. A little chopper towards the middle. It'll be gloved by Dubon, who makes a quick play to first for out number 1. Nicely done by Mauricio. Complete your wardrobe with a pair of Jose Altuve socks for 10,000 fans this Sunday, April 20th, presented by Houston Methodist. Secure your tickets at astros.com/promotions. Here's Brendan Donovan. That last play was not an easy call for the 2 middle infielders because Pena's momentum going to first, but Dubon trusted his arm and took the play.
Yeah, I think either one of them makes that play, but Dubon cut him off. Doobie's arm plenty strong enough. He put himself in a good position to make that throw.
This one a little more routine, although he has to back up on a couple of hops and makes the play on Brendan Donovan for out number 2. Now a word from Jack in the Box.
My Nashville hot popcorn chicken. So much deliciousness starting at $5.99.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Well, Hunter Brown knows that this is likely his final inning, so he could pretty much let it eat here against Nolan Arenado. Arenado 1 for 2 with a single his first time up, a little flare down the right field side. Nolan with 4 hits in this series takes one off the plate for ball 1. Ball hit high in the air to left field. Jose Altuve is under it, and Hunter Brown for the 2nd straight start has 6 innings of shutout baseball. Hunter walks off the Busch Stadium mound with a 1-0 lead. We'll head to the 7th.
Get to the ballpark early this Friday as 10,000 fans will receive a Hunter Brown replica white jersey presented by Woodforest National Bank. Visit astros.com/promotions to get your tickets today. How about Hunter Brown, TK?
How about him? What do you think, Blum?
I think 17 consecutive scoreless innings is pretty darn good, and Hunter Brown making a statement early as the Diesel gives the Astros another 6 shutout. Fetty is going to give way to Kyle Leahy in this game. 7 games, 8 2/3 innings. He's got a beautiful ERA at 1.04. That whip even better at 0.46. 10 punch in 8 2/3 for Leahy.
This ball looped towards first. Dubon doesn't realize it's close to being a fair ball. He never left the batter's box until that ball was almost caught by Contreras, and he's out number 1. Dubon was looking down at his hands after that swing.
Bottom hand came off on that swing. See right here, he took a pretty good hack at it. You can see that bottom hand come off, and then the top hand lets go, and he has no idea where the ball is.
He's like, oh, that might be fair. Pops out for out number 1. Kyle Leahy now facing the top of the order, Jose Altuve, who's doubled in 3 at-bats. Eric Fetty, 6 innings of 1-run baseball himself tonight. Pitches well for the 3rd time in 4 starts for the Cardinals. Walked 3 and struck out 5, allowing 6 base hits for the Astros. Jeremy Pena Speed, the only run allowed so far tonight as he beat the throw home from Jordan Walker. Altuve hit a fly ball down the right field line that was foul last night that Jordan Walker caught, and in the process he had to cover 145 feet, which is the furthest anybody has gone to catch a baseball so far this year. Corbin Carroll had the previous mark at 143. Altuve goes down on strikes. 2 quick outs for Leahy here in the 7th.
It's time to play, or time to name that Astro powered by Reliant. We gave you 3 clues. First ever Houston batter, Brooklyn Dodger milestone, 24th inning walk-off. Who is that Astro powered by Reliant? Bob Aspromonte, first ever batter for Houston in 1962 and a walk-off single in 1968 on this date.
Aspro the Astro. Tonight's Name That Astro. Astros with 2 outs and nobody on here for Isaac Paredes. Paredes hit the ball very hard his 2nd time up, lined out to left. He's also grounded out and struck out. Astros have Brian King, the lefty, warming up now in the pen. Looks like King will have the bottom half of the 7th. Paredes pops one high in the air on the infield. Good inning for Kyle Leahy. Brendan Donovan, the shortstop, puts it away. A 1-2-3 7th inning. As we'll head to the 7th inning stretch here in St. Louis's Busch Stadium, and time for us to head back to Houston as the Astros lead 1-0 and check in our Rooms to Go lounge.
Good hands play, replays, and you've got a great play out in right field. Cam Smith heading back towards that right field wall, making a play. Altuve coming in foul territory, making a play. And a couple of big double plays behind Hunter Brown helped him get out of some jams, with Dubon doing it by himself. Looping line drive that Jeremy Pena gets a hold of, but the Astros pitchers have benefited from great defense behind him. Hunter Brown no exception, as he gives way to Brian King. Comes into this game to make his 9th appearance, 7 1/3 innings. You can see the ERA is wonderful. I'd like to keep that right there. 13 strikeouts in 7 1/3 for Brian King. Fastball slider mix is what he's been working with this season.
So King inherits a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th, facing 5, 6, and 7 in the St. Louis order. Alec Burleson taking a strike here. It's 1-1. Check that. This is a pinch hitter, Lucan Baker, hitting for Burleson. Burleson, the left-hand hitter. So they go to the right-hander, Baker. Baker got the start as the DH last night and sends this one into center field for a base hit. The Houston kid out of Conroe, Texas, picking up a base hit as a pinch hitter here to start the 7th inning.
Gets a majority of his bats against left-handed pitching. Comes in and does a good job of leading off with that base knock.
So now King will face Jordan Walker. Hunter Brown, another good night. 6 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. Walked 2 and struck out 4. Hunter allowed 2 runs against the Twins in the first inning 3 starts ago, then shut down the Twins the rest of the way for 5 more innings. 6 shutout innings in Seattle and now 6 shutout innings in St. Louis. Towards Paredes, goes to second. They get the out there. The turn not in time to get Jordan Walker. Fielder's choice for the first out of the inning.
Really good effort by Isak and Mauricio Dubon. Isak knew that ball wasn't hit that hard. Tried to charge in and get rid of that quickly. Made that play at first close. Ball chopped, but Isak charging in and throwing on the run, trying to get that double play.
Cardinals will go to their second pinch hitter of this inning. Thomas Sajasi will hit for Nolan Gorman here. So with King in the game, Cardinals bringing some righties off the bench. That's going to get Josh Miller out to have a word and go over the scouting report here with King on Sajasi.
Never miss a pitch or big play. Watch a replay of the game every morning at 6 a.m. It's Breakfast with the Astros, only on Space City Home Network.
Sajasi having a nice year early on for St. Louis. He's only had 18 plate appearances, 17 at bats, but he's 8 for 17 on the season. That includes 1 home run and 4 runs batted in. Sajasi takes a strike, 0-1. Missed that fastball, and King getting ahead quickly, 0-2. Base hit by the pinch hitter Lucan Baker to start the inning, and then a fielder's choice. Jordan Walker now the runner on first with 1 out.
I've got a Leatherman. I mean, that's all I got. All right.
2 night games and a day game in St. Louis. Astros trying to win the middle game of this series. Tomorrow will be Bernal Blanco against the lefty Steven Matz, second lefty starter the Astros have faced this year. Astros did not face a lefty starter until game 14 when Tyler Anderson started and pitched well against them. Now look at Steven Matz tomorrow. King got ahead of Sajasi 0-2, and now the count's gone full. Sajasi has not drawn a walk this year.
You need the blue or the red?
Towards second, Dubon makes the catch, a jumping catch for out number 2.
Good play by Mauricio. He's been very active in this series at second base.
Now Pedro Paez the batter with 2 outs. Takes a pitch up, 1-0. Brian King being counted on now as the 7th inning guy ahead of the Abreu-Hader combination in the last 2 innings. He has moved into that role with a great start to the season. In the air, shallow center. Jake Myers coming on, and he will get there in time to put it away. Brian King, 8 1/3 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball so far in 2025. The lefty getting it done, and the Astros lead 1-0 heading to the 8th.
In a scoreless game, Jake Myers put his 3rd hit of the game. Watch Jeremy Pena, who's on 2nd with his double. He turns on the Jets, and he's going to score. Gets in there for the Astros' first and only run of the game. DK.
Yeah, Jeremy Speed definitely a factor there in the only run of the game for the Astros in the top half of the 6th inning, and now it'll be 3, 4, and 5 facing Kyle Leahy here, his 2nd inning of work. Leahy got the Astros in order in the 7th inning. In fact, he's been getting everybody in order lately. His last 7 outings now 9 consecutive no-hit innings from Leahy. He's had a few walks in the mix, but he has not allowed a hit since opening day when he gave up his only hit allowed this year. Jordan's got a 2-1 count here. Jordan needs one of those flares to fall in based on how hard he's hit the ball this series.
I'd like him to flare one about 450 feet away.
He is not hit with any luck in this series. Line drives being caught all over the place. Jordan and then Christian Walker and Jeremy Pena in this inning. That ball hit to center straight away. Jordan tags it, going back and looking up. It's gone. Jordan Alvarez hits one out to the batter's eye in straightaway center field. Home run number 2 on the season.
I was close. 419 feet.
Almost called it by the foot, Blummer. The big man crushes one to center and gives the Astros a 2-0 lead.
If you are a little round leather piece flying through the air, you better watch out for this guy's back, because he gets frustrated and takes it out on that baseball. That is a line drive to center field, 419 feet. We talk about how he smashes changeups. That was a changeup off the outside corner that he barreled up and shot out of here. That's one way to keep him from catching it.
How about it? So Jordan, his third career home run against the Cardinals. Mauricio Dubon having a hard time believing that ball went out as low as it was. Dubon always plays the role of I'm never impressed with Jordan, but that was pretty impressive.
That was very impressive. Yeah, with every line out, you could feel just it's probably wrong, but the anger building inside Jordan. And he just goes out there and gets a pitch he can crush.
Well, Christian Walker was down in the count 0-2, and then he is hit by a pitch here, so he'll be a base runner with nobody out in the 8th.
Time now for our league leaders, presented by Houston Methodist. Talking about the speed of Jeremy Pena. There he is. Base running WAR this season. They've got WAR for everything. Jeremy Pena, 1.2, just behind Byron Buxton and ahead of Adolis Garcia and Jaron Duran. Running escapade in the 6th inning is going to help out.
Pena on base twice today with a walk and a double and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. Ryan Abreu warming up in the Astros pen. The Astros doubling their lead thanks to the Jordan Alvarez home run. Only the 2nd run allowed by Kyle Leahy and the first base hit he's allowed since opening day after 9 no-hit innings. Pena pops a foul and giving it a look, Contreras, and that's too deep into the Cardinals dugout. Pena now with an 0-2 count. Jeremy with a 7-game hitting streak with that double his last time up. That's the longest streak for an Astro in 2025. Down and in, 1-2. Called 3rd strike. Pena didn't love the call, but he will turn and walk back to the dugout. Leahy picks up his 2nd strikeout.
It was a good pitch by Leahy, just dotting in that inside corner. May not be where he wanted it, but still able to get the call on the edge of the MD Anderson strike zone.
Here's Yainer Diaz. Diaz goes after the first one and fouls it out of play, 0-1. Yainer had that one huge game against the Angels where he's had half of his hits on the season when he went 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs, including that grand slam. Has been a little bit of a rough first 17 games here for the Astros starting catcher. Grounds this one towards 3rd. Arenado to 2nd for 1, and Donovan's turn not in time. Yainer beating out the relay throw to live there with 2 outs. That'll bring up Jake Myers, Blummer's guest pregame as part of Blummer's breakdown. Jake is 3 for 3 tonight, including the RBI for the first run of the game.
Yeah, he's breaking it down all right. Looking for that 4th.
He had 1 4-hit game prior in his career. Came back in 2023 in Toronto. Don't think he did a breakdown that day.
No, but I'm going to tell everybody I talked to him that day. May or not be true. May or not be true, but no, Jake's on his own. He's done a great job. Be nice to pick up that 4th.
Well, he's down in the count 0-2. If he is to pick up his 4th base hit tonight, it would be his first hit of the season with 2 strikes. This is an area Jake would love to improve through the years. Just getting to that 2-strike count, being able to stay in the game and pick up a base hit.
Those chase numbers have dropped early in this season, so hopefully that kind of leads to what you're talking about, where he can lay off some of those pitches where he would have struck out maybe last year. Leahy's a tough customer, though.
Runner goes. Jake tries to hold up, and no appeal, so Jake gets saved of a strikeout. They are going to appeal to see if Jake swung. No swing, says DeJesus. So Jake will lead off next inning after Yainer Diaz was thrown out to end the top of the 8th.
Big swing in that inning was off the bat of Yordan Alvarez. Line drives at everybody, it seems like, on the field. So guess what? Hit it over them. 2-0 Astros. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. And speaking of Cam, he's out there in right field charging this base hit with a runner at second base. Came up firing. Runner at third held up, but this was a laser to home plate out of the hand of Cam Smith. And the rest of the inning was in the hands of Hunter Brown, who went out there and punched out the batter to end that inning and proceeded to go out and punch out the side the following inning. Hunter Brown finding his groove late in this game with the strikeouts and throwing another shutout outing. Brian King had himself a shutout inning. Now he's handing the baton to Brian Abreu. 6 2/3, a 4.05 ERA for him. Picked up 4 outs last time he was out there against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim back in Daikin Park. Had 3 strikeouts of the 4 outs he got.
So he's got the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up. Michael Ciani leading things off. Ciani around the bunt, puts the bunt down, backhanded by Abreu. His throw is low and picked by Christian Walker. He threw a changeup to Walker. This guy throws BBs to home plate, but he threw it about 70 miles an hour to first, and Walker made a nice play.
Yeah, I'm not sure Abreu had the grip on that ball that he wanted to, but very fortunate to have Christian Walker over there at first base making the pick. Did a great job of getting to that baseball, planted the right foot, but you could almost see the baseball kind of moving in the hand. Just a casual scoop.
Walker's made every pick so far in 2025 over at first base. And there's a pitch up to Lars Nootbaar. It's 1-0. It's a big first out there heading to the top of the lineup. Astros trying to shut down one of the best offenses so far in 2025 in the Cardinals. That one's off the plate, 2-0. That one drops in for a strike. Nootbaar has walked, grounded into a double play, and struck out. All that came against Hunter Brown. Big swing, no contact, 2-2. Off the play with a fastball, and the count goes full.
Brian's got a little bit better feel for that slider than the fastball in this outing so far.
Hit hard down the right field side. Fair ball to the corner. Cam Smith will play it there. That's a double for Lars Nootbaar. He's a one-out base runner for St. Louis in the bottom of the 8th.
Just unable to get that slider down. It seemed like the fastball's running arm side off the plate, so sticking with that slider but elevated. Probably like that pitch down and in or down and away. But Nootbaar took advantage of that mistake up.
A little conference between Yainer Diaz and Brian Abreu here, with the tying run at home plate with Wilson Contreras coming to bat. Now a message from TXU Energy. Contreras 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of flyouts and a ground out to Dubon. First pitch misses in, 1-0. Cardinals with their first runner in scoring position since the 4th inning. Fastball has been all over the place so far for Abreu. That one up and in sends Contreras to the deck. It's 2-0.
There was a little extra noise on that one too at 97. Yainer set up down and away, and that one racing up towards the neck of Wilson Contreras. It's uncomfortable.
Two and 1 the count to Contreras. These two former NL Central foes going head to head here at Busch Stadium. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Astros trying to even up the series at a game apiece. Lead this 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Now it's 2-2 on Contreras. Tough take on a pitch just below the zone. The count's full.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive take from Contreras. Looked like it was below the zone. Maybe just a seam or two catching that bottom edge, but that's not enough to get the call.
Little tapper. Dubon is there. Contreras retired on the play. Nootbaar goes to third. Abreu gets the second out of the inning. Space City Home Network has more Astros action coming your way tomorrow afternoon. The Astros will wrap up their series in St. Louis. Coverage will kick off at 11:30 for a 12:15 first pitch. 11:30 will be the Astros pregame show presented by Toyota. Steven Matz, the lefty, against Ronel Blanco tomorrow. Here's Brendan Donovan, hottest hitter for the Cardinals, hottest hitter in the major leagues with an 11-game hitting streak. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike here, 0-1. Pitch missing in, 1-1 the count. Donovan looped a double, just shy of a sliding attempt by Cam Smith in right center field. He's also flied out and grounded out. Missing up, 2-1. Into right field. Here comes Cam on the move, and he's going to make a catch right around waist high for the final out of the inning. So a double with 1 out does not hurt Abreu. He works through the bottom of the 8th. Astros head to the 9th with a 2-0 lead.
By AGB, going back, checking out a division series in 2001 when Lance Bergman had 3 hits, 2 RBIs, eventually getting the Astros a 2-1 win. And then on Sunday, the Astros went to town to take 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals in the final series of the season to win the National League Central in 2001 at Old Busch Stadium. New pitcher into this ball game is going to be Roderick Munoz. Saw him in yesterday's ball game. That ERA up to 16.20 after a 3-run home run last night off the bat of Jeremy Pena.
And the good news for Jake Myers with Yainer Diaz being thrown out to end that inning is he gets a fresh count. He was down in that count 0-2 when Yainer was caught stealing. So it'll be Myers and then Cam Smith and Mauricio Dubon set to face Munoz here in the 9th. Astros have their closer, Josh Hader, beginning to loosen up. Here is Hader. Kind of formulaic tonight for Joe Espada. 6 innings from Hunter Brown. Brian King in the 7th. Brian Abreu in the 8th. And now Hader, barring a big rally here from the Astros in the top of the 9th. Hader will be on in the bottom half. 2-1 the count to Jake. You know, watching some throws by Cam Smith and even that last play to end the last inning, it was 75% catch probability, but he made it pretty easily. At some point, as he continues to grow in confidence in the outfield, you might not see him taken out for defense late in games because he might become a pretty solid outfielder as the season progresses. Jake sends this one to center. This will be the first time Jake's retired tonight. And that'll be out number 1. Time to reveal the winner of tonight's Chevy Stroll Poll. We asked you which Astro is going to have the biggest improvement by season's end, and that guy Cam Smith is your winner tonight with 35% of the vote in the Stroh poll. Yainer Diaz gets almost a quarter of the vote. So does Jake and Jeremy. Good totals all the way around. Thanks for your votes in tonight's Stroh poll. More on Cam. Let's go down to Julia.
Yeah, TK, you told me yesterday that Jackie Robinson Day was a day growing up he made sure to watch baseball, knowing how important this day was. He said, my favorite movie is actually 42, and I can't believe I'm going to actually experience wearing that number in the show now. He said that movie released in 2013. I was about 10. I know every single word. He said, do you remember Blu-ray disc? It's like, that's what I had it on. Of course we do, Cam. But yeah, he just said it's always been a very special movie, a very special person to him. So today was bigger than all of us, he said. It's about Jackie Robinson today.
Very cool.
That is very cool.
Good for Cam, an honor for him to wear that number. Julie didn't have the heart to tell him there was about 2 or 3 iterations before Blu-ray disc.
Yeah, you and I know about those.
1-2 pitches fouled at the plate. Do you remember all the way back when there was Blu-ray discs?
Oh man, yeah. If he needs history lesson on how to watch video back in the day, he could call me.
2013 was so long ago. So long ago. I was the silent reporter for this team right here.
Just started.
That was our first year.
He was 10.
That's incredible.
I can't wait to tell Altuve that story. Yeah. He's going to love it too.
That's good stuff. Yeah, so he was what, like 8 when Tuve first started with the Astros, something like that. 1-2 the count to Cam. And that is a foul, I believe. And that did not feel good for Pedro Pajes.
I might have caught that right knee or quad a little overexposed. That kneeling position.
Oh, Quinn Walcott looking in to see if the Cardinals are going to come out to check on him, but now he's going to kind of stall for time to let Pajes recover.
You see that right quad. Oh yeah, just catches right on top of that shin guard.
Called third strike, top of the zone. Cam goes down looking. Munoz picks up his first strikeout and 2 outs in the ninth. And what I was saying earlier about Cam, it very well could be that Joe would still elect to go to Chaz next inning with a 2-0 lead because he has been doing that early in the season. But I'm just saying as the year progresses, you might see Joe gain confidence in Cam's defensive play and keep him in there in the ninth innings or late in games with a short lead.
I think that's a realistic opportunity.
Here's a called strike. It's 0-1 to Dubon. Mauricio 0 for 2 with a walk. Looking ahead to the Cardinals bottom half of the ninth, they'll have Nolan Arenado and Luken Baker and Jordan Walker. Dubon bidding for a hit, and this ball is going to be caught. Sliding catch by Nootbaar. Robs Mauricio of a potential 2-out base hit here in the ninth. Lars Nootbaar with a nice play to end the inning. Houston Astros baseball on Space City Home Network is presented by Papa John's. Order the 2 for $22 daily special. 2 large, 2 topping pizzas for only $22. And by Michelob Ultra Zero. Make a plan to get home safe. A reminder from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors, Houston.
This Saturday, 10,000 fans will take home a Josh Hader Fireman bobblehead presented by Texas Bay Credit Union. Get your tickets now at astros.com/promotions. Plummer?
Josh Hader, closer for the Astros into this ball game. This will be his 7th appearance on the season. The more traditional, doesn't have to go multi-innings. He's racked up 8 innings in those 6 previous appearances. There's a 1.13 ERA, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings.
Nolan Arenado, the first one to face Hader. Arenado 1 for 3 tonight. You can see his numbers against Hader in his career. Try to hold up, and that is a swing. Arenado frustrated that Walcott didn't check with first. It's 1-2. Jazz McCormick is in the game. He'll be in right field here for Cam Smith in the bottom of the ninth.
I think at some point that may end up being a rule too, where they just automatically check on check swings and take it out of the home plate umpire's hands. It would release a lot of frustration between hitter and home plate umpire.
MLB is in the works of making that a call that can be reviewed.
Yeah, they want to change where that check swing is as well.
2-2 the count. Oh, look out. All the way to the backstop on that one.
Wow, where's Redbird? Watch out. You don't see that too often from Josh Hader. He's pretty much under control, but this fastball gets away at 95. Knocked the phone right out of that kid's hands. Focus in these situations.
Little looper. Dubon is there and puts it away for the first out. Mauricio's been busy tonight. 1 away in the ninth.
He's got a variety of line drives and pop-ups. He's had to stay on some of those. That ball might be twisting away, but he did a good job of staying with it.
Well, always big to get that first out in a close game, bottom of the ninth. Here is Lucan Baker, who singled his first time up. Lucan skies this one way up in the air to left center field. He got under this. Jake Myers is there for out number 2. Altuve is still doing his fake catch thing. It doesn't quite work as well in the outfield as it did in the infield back in the day. But he had his glove up like he was going to make the catch about 15 feet behind Jake. 2 outs.
Yeah, Lucan Baker ambushed that one and had some serious hang time. And Altuve coming over had plenty of time, just like old times. I got it. It's a 2-0 game, and he's having a time of his life.
The always entertaining Jose Altuve. Here's Jordan Walker, swing and a miss, 0-1. Walker 0 for 3 tonight. Cardinals coming into tonight were averaging 5.63 runs per game. And now they're down to their final strike in a 2-0 contest. Got him. Astros shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0. First time the Cardinals have been shut out this season, as the Astros get a combined masterpiece from Hunter Brown, Brian King, Brian Abreu, and Josh Hader. That's a good bounce back win after a tough opener, Blummer.
Oh, that's a great bounce back win. That's what the Astros seem to do, is win every other game. But they came through against a very good offense. Hunter Brown pitched his brains out tonight and did a very good job. But this is a great Astros team win with good pitching, great defense, timely hitting.
Astros get their first shutout of 2025. The post-game show presented by Whataburger will have Kevin Eschenfelder hosting and Josh Reddick as your analyst. They'll have the breakdown of tonight's game, including highlights. Julia Morales getting interviews both in the clubhouse and on the field after this one. Astros post-game show starts next.